Here is my story on how I broke my jaw. I woke up to a broken jaw on May 18th after a night out drinking with a male coworker.
So this lady went out with her coworker and woke up with her jaw broken. Guys, this is so cringy. Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video is a story time video of a sister of a beautiful woman coming to talk about how what happened to her when she went out with her co-worker that she barely knew for like 2 months, and she woke up in her room in her house with her entire jaw out, like literally. Anyway, before I continue with this video, I just want to say trigger warning to this video. There's a lot of visual thing that she showed on her mouth. I could not watch it myself, so please, I just want to put it out there. So if you're very sensitive to things like that, which personally I am, okay, please be one. Okay. All right. So this sister went on to share the story talking about how she and her coworker decided to go grab some drink and go out. Even though our friend was supposed to, our friend came with them, our friend eventually left her, and it was just she and her coworker. And they already had been drinking before they got to the club. By the time they got to the club, they took some shots, and the next thing, she did not remember anything. She blacked out, and that's where the entire story went from there. This whole story that she's giving, which we're going to get into, for me, I just feel like this is a very important story to hear, because a lot of time, a lot of us women, especially girls, we don't understand the danger that is out there, and sometimes we usually believe that if it's happening to other people, it can happen to me. The people that is happening to, they're not, you're not more special than them, in my personal opinion. Anyway guys, let's go check out this story time, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Here is my story on how I broke my jaw. I woke up to a broken jaw on May 18th after a night out drinking with a male coworker. Open gash on my chin, so deep that you could see my bone. My jaw was broken this way and completely detached right here. My teeth had almost completely bitten through my lip, my bottom ones biting through the inside. I have a huge amount of scar tissue right here. There's stitches all in here, all down here, and then my front top teeth bit through. I don't know if you can see the scar tissue. My front tooth completely came out, root and all, and then I chipped my other front tooth, and there is a molar that is chipped on the inside. That was all of my injuries though. I didn't break any other bones, didn't crack my fingers, I had nails on, didn't lose a nail, just a lot of bruising. On Saturday night, May 17th, me and my coworker decided to go out for drinks after work. Yes, he was a male. Yes, it was our first time hanging out. Yes, that was my first mistake. We decided to go to a bar that my friend was working at. When we arrived to the bar, it was completely empty. There was like no one there, and my friend was leaving. So the three of us left together in one car to go to a new club. The line was really long. My friend didn't want to wait, so she left me and my coworker there, which I never, ever, ever blamed her for, or was mad at her for, or felt any type of way towards. Me and my coworker finally make our way inside the club after waiting like 25 minutes, and we immediately head to the bar. He orders us 2 shots each and a tequila soda, and that is literally the only thing I remember from that entire night. I will say that we were drinking in the car before we got to the bar, so I did not get there stone cold sober. I have never in my life ever blacked out before. I always know my limits when I'm drinking, and I don't do any sort of drugs or anything else like that. I'm literally 90% of the time a sober sister. So this was so unlike me. Everything that happened this night, I feel like was so out of character for everyone that was involved. Everyone was acting so weird. I can't even explain it. And I'll go into that deeper in a different video because I'm just trying to keep this as a story time. It's such a long story. This was my first time ever blacking out, and it was also my first time ever going out alone with a man. I wake up in the morning on May 18th to a text from my coworker saying, "Here is my story on how I broke my jaw, part 2. This was my first time ever blacking out, and it was also my first time ever going out alone with a man. I don't remember anything else from that night. I wake up in the morning on May 18th to a text from my coworker saying that I had taken a fall down the stairs and I peed myself, and he did his best to clean me up. He got me in bed and to call him in the morning. I was not in any pain when I woke up. There was nothing that immediately flagged me that like, oh my god, I'm in pain, I'm in danger, something happened. I literally read the text. I responded, LMAO, I'm so sorry. Because I was so embarrassed that I, 1, got too drunk, 2, fell, 3, peed myself. After I sent that text, I went back to sleep. I finally get up around 8 a.m. on May 18th, Sunday morning, and I make my way to the bathrooms and brush my teeth like I do every single morning. When I looked in the mirror, this is what I saw looking back at me. I didn't even know, I don't even remember, like, my first initial thought. I don't process things very well. So guess what the first thing I did was? I proceeded to brush my teeth.
Oh, God.
Literally jaw hanging off, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm texting my best friend, and I'm like, I'm so calm about the entire thing, which is bizarre. And I'm like, oh my god, my teeth are gone. And she's like, what the f are you talking about? And I'm just texting her, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, my teeth are literally gone. She's like, send me a picture. I send her a picture. She immediately starts freaking out because she's not one to stay calm. She starts freaking out, as she should, honestly. And I go downstairs, and I finally notice that my room looks like a murder scene. Like, my room literally looks like someone was in it. There was so much blood all over my carpet. My carpet's white. All over my bed. Like, literally, the whole thing was covered in blood. Smeared on the wall, down the stairs. There was blood on the floor. There was blood everywhere. I wish I took pictures. I didn't take pictures of anything. I was so ill-prepared. I end up texting my coworker, and I'm like, what the f happened? Like, I know you said I fell, but what the f happened? Like, what happened? He obviously doesn't answer because he's still sleeping. Whatever I was wearing, I woke up in a bathrobe. I woke up with my hair in a bun, all my jewelry was off, my makeup was off, my contacts were out. I don't know if I was so blacked out that I didn't feel the pain of my jaw and I continued to get unready for bed, or if no, because he said that he undressed me. I think the scariest part is not knowing what happened to me when he brought me home. And we have ring camera footage of him getting me in the house, and I am so annihilated, I am so obliterated, I can't even walk. It's insane to see myself like that because I've never been like that. But I had to be somewhat still conscious because I had to tell him where I lived, give him the keys to get in the house. We got back to the house around 2:45. And then he walked back out to his car at 2:53. So 8 minutes after we got in my house, he walked back to his car at 8:53, grabbed something, and then came back in. And he didn't leave again until almost 4 a.m. where he's walking out with his bloody t-shirt. And then he leaves. The scariest part is that he refuses to tell anyone what happened that night. I texted him a million times. He kept saying, I took a fall. I think what baffles me the most is, like, you see I took a fall. I'm completely annihilated. I don't even probably know what's going on. He saw that my tooth was missing. He knows I'm bleeding a lot. His t-shirt was covered in blood if he was trying to clean me up. You left me there. He left me there bleeding in my bed. I woke up to so much blood. I also was drinking, so my blood was thinner. I could have bled out that night. The human decency. You could have just slept on my daybed. I have a second bed in my room. You could have slept and stayed with me for the night. You could have taken me to the hospital. You could have called the ambulance. Or you could have seen if anyone else was home. I live with other people and he knew that. The fact that he just cleaned me up and put me to bed is ridiculous. It's crazy. I could have died. I literally could have died that night and no one would have known what would happen. No one would have known a single thing that would have happened to me. But for the first 2 or 3 days, that didn't click in my head. I didn't view him as a villain. I didn't view anyone as a villain. In my head, I got too drunk. I fell down the stairs. I was embarrassed that I drank too much. I was embarrassed that I fell. I was embarrassed that now my jaw was broken, and I was embarrassed that I pissed myself. And I didn't want to tell anyone. I almost didn't even tell my mother about it. I end up calling my boyfriend, and he picks me up and immediately takes me to the hospital. Here's my story on how I broke my jaw. Part 3. I literally could have died that night and no one would have known what would happen. My coworker is being so dodgy with answering questions. I'm asking him what happened after I fell. Did I fall when I first got there? What did I do? Did I know that I fell? Was I acting like I was drugged or was I just drunk? I told him I was at the hospital. I think I'm gonna get a drug test, whatever. And he's like, yeah, do it. And then he pulls the, well, you did leave me for 15 minutes at the club. And I was like, what do you mean I left you? And he's like, you went and talked to other people, for 20 minutes. I end up calling my boyfriend, and he picks me up and immediately takes me to the hospital. The first hospital we go to completely wastes my time. They did nothing for me. We spent 8 hours there. They did literally nothing. They took pee samples. I don't even think they took blood samples. I think they just gave me an IV. And then they were like, yep, your jaw's broken, but we don't handle that here. And I was like, so what? They didn't even give me medicine. They gave me like literally nothing. We ended up going to Boston Hospital. Thankfully, my boyfriend's mother works in hospitals. She was able to get me a private room that same day. Literally, thank you God, because I don't know what I would have done without that. I check in around 7 p.m. and let me just say, I've already used the bathroom at this point. I brushed my teeth. I took a shower before we went to the Boston Hospital. There was so in my hair and just everywhere. They're asking if I want to do a kit, and I'm like, no, because in my head, let me say again, for the first like 3 days, I did not think anyone was the villain at all. In my head, I also thought that nothing like that would ever happen to me. It's never even crossed my mind that like I could be in danger like that. I don't ever think about myself like that at all in those situations. So at first I said no. Mind you, I already showered, already used the bathroom, already brushed my teeth, and I was also just in so much pain. I just really didn't feel like doing a kit, and I also genuinely didn't think that anything would ever happen or that he would have done anything to me to begin with. My boyfriend and everyone asked the hospital a million times to please take blood samples and test me to see if I've been drugged. They took literally like 12 blood samples. This was my arm from how many blood samples they took from me. And we made it very clear, like, please test me. We get the test results back from the hospital, and those didn't even test me for drugs. They tested me for alcohol, which like, and then they tested me for some sort of psychosis medicine. They didn't test for Xanax, they didn't test for a roofie, they didn't test for a Molly, they didn't test for anything that we specifically asked for. Like, what did you do with my 12 samples of blood? What do you mean you didn't freaking test me when I'm sitting here debating a grape kit? I'm telling you I don't remember my night. I'm coming in with a broken jaw. I end up getting discharged from the hospital. Everyone, literally everybody is telling me, you need to file a police report. You need to get the police involved. And I was like, I don't want to. Like, I really don't want to. Because I just knew that the police couldn't do anything. But they're like, they can go to the club. They can view the footage. They can see if you've been drugged. They can question this man. They can get everyone's story. Like, if he ever did anything to anyone else or anything like that, like, they would have it on file. Like, you need to file a police report. And I was like, okay. At the beginning, I just didn't want to do any of that. I did not think that my coworker was in the wrong. I thought it was nice of him that he cleaned me up, had to deal with all that. Like, I've only known him for like 2 months, you know what I mean? It's not like we were besties. I felt like a burden, you know, that there's nothing worse than like being that drunk friend, and that's what I felt like. I was literally so embarrassed. So about 6 days after the incident, we went and filed a police report. The thing is that I didn't know what I wanted from the police report. I didn't know what I wanted the police to get from me, which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to do the police report. I guess my biggest thing was I really wanted them to check the footage of the club and question my coworker that was involved. That's literally, I think, all I wanted from them. So we open the police report. I tell them everything. I give them all the screenshots that I have. I give them everything. And they're like, okay, like, we're gonna go to the club. We're gonna see if they have the footage. We're gonna do everything that we can to help you. Days go by and I don't hear anything from the police. Here's my story on how I broke my jaw. Days go by and I don't hear anything from the police. Mind you, my coworker texted me again, checking up on me, asking if I was okay. We called the detective days later and we're like, hey, anything? They say they went to the club to get the footage, but they got new security systems on the 21st, so all that footage is gone. I broke my jaw on the 18th. So all that footage is gone. I think clubs don't like sharing footage because it makes them look bad. They don't want to be known as the place where a girl got roofied, taken home and woken up with a broken jaw. You know what I mean? They don't want any smoke. So they got a new system. Could the police have pushed harder? I don't know. Do they actually care? Probably not. My detective was also a man, so they're like, so that's out of the board. Like, a drug test would really help. And we're like, well, we tried to get a drug test. The hospital didn't test us. A hair test, maybe we can go that route, hoping that they would help with the expenses, because it's like $700 for a fucking hair test. We're on our own. We're on our own with that. Hospital won't help. The police won't help. Insurance won't help. No one's gonna help us cover the hair test. So then we're like, well, did you pull my coworker in? Did you get his side of the story? He was like, we reached out to him. He said he was going to come in. He never did. This was days ago. So that's it. That's it. They didn't keep trying to contact him. They didn't, like, the police don't fucking care. They don't care about anything. They didn't care about answers. They didn't care about me. They didn't try at all. You know what I mean? And this is exactly why I didn't even want to go to the police in the first place. Because I know that they're so useless. They don't do anything, ever. Especially for a woman. And especially for a colored woman. So that really pissed me off. And it was just, like, confusing to me. I was getting really confused with why my coworker wasn't just telling us what happened to me that night. Like, what happened that you cannot tell us? And I remember I was texting him and I was trying to get the story from him. I have a boyfriend, and I didn't know if anything happened between me and my coworker that night. So I was trying to get that out of him. And by doing so, I was kind of setting it up to be like, you know, my boyfriend's really upset with me. Did you tell him what we did that night? My boyfriend knew all this. We were just trying to get my coworker and see if he would admit that something happened. And he said, no, I didn't tell him anything, but do you remember now? And I was like, oh my god, like, did something fucking happen? Because I don't remember. And when we told the police that, they told me to stop contacting him. So we didn't go any further with that, even though I think I could have got something out of him. The whole thing really stresses me out because we don't know when I fell and broke my jaw, right? He could have got me home and I could have immediately fell and broke my jaw. Or he could have got me home, he could have done something to me. I could have been going to the bathroom and then fell and broke my jaw. Do you know what I mean? We don't know anything because he wouldn't tell us the story. So now I'm really getting, like, stressed out and pissed off at the fact that I'm not getting any answers and it looks like I'll never get closure. The drug test fell through. I didn't do it. Which, ladies, if you're ever even debating on doing it, just do it. Like, if I could go back in time and do it, I would, like, I wish I had done it, and I really wish that we pushed for the drug test, but whatever. After the detective calls me and tells me that my coworker never showed up for questioning, my coworker then hits me up again to see how I'm doing. And he's like, you know, I know you went to the police, I don't blame you for that. I want you to know that I am going to be going in, giving my statement. I wasn't supposed to be talking to him. In some way, hearing that he was going to finally say his side of the story brought me some sort of peace. And I was like, maybe I'll finally know what happened to me. And he even said, he was like, I hate that you will never get the closure that you need. What do you mean you hate I'll never get it? You can give it to me. Like, you can tell me every single thing that happened that night. Unless you magically don't remember anymore either. Like, it was like he was just playing games. He doesn't understand that, like, I broke my jaw. My life has been on pause for the last 6 weeks. Literally was couch ridden for 2 weeks. I couldn't even move. I was crying. I was having panic attacks. Like, and he's saying, I'm sorry, you'll never get the closure you need. You can give that to me. It doesn't make any sense. So whatever, that was the last time I heard from him, and that was the last time I heard from the detective, and that was literally the last time I heard from everyone involved. That is the confusing, underwhelming story on how I broke my jaw. I don't know. Like, long story short, I do not know how I broke my jaw because I do not remember and no one would get answers for me. I think I just have to live the rest of my life not knowing what happened to me that night. There's good and bad in it. I truly appreciate the fact that I don't remember the fall. I can't even imagine the pain of breaking your jaw in 2 places, biting through your lip, gashing your chin open, losing your teeth. I also had bruises on my chest, on my hands, on my knees. So the fall adds up. The fall makes sense. I don't think he pushed me. I don't think he punched me. I don't think I rejected him and he got angry. There's so many theories, like, in my little circle. Not that we'll ever know what was true. I genuinely do think I probably tripped and fell. I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm going to keep telling myself, because we'll never know at this point, so we can make up any sort of story about what happened. One day I will process this, and it will hit me really hard. And I fear the day that comes, because in my mind, I think I protect myself from a lot of things by just blocking it out and not paying any sort of attention to it. That's what I've been doing with the situation, and every time someone would try to get me to talk deeper about it, I would just close it off. I don't do well with processing emotions. Moral of the story, don't trust a man, don't go drinking with men alone, take the kit, push the drug test. And really just take care of yourself, push for the things that you need. I wish that I advocated for myself louder and stronger and harder, and I'm so grateful that I had such a great support system with me. I'm so grateful and so lucky, because I would not have been able to get through this really difficult situation without them. And to this day, I really can't believe that it happened to me. When I tell you I had the mindset that nothing bad would ever happen to me ever. But life works in very mysterious ways. I genuinely think this was a lesson that I had to learn, and I always learn lessons the hard way. I hope that me sharing my experience can provide comfort and peace and maybe inspiration for other people in their experience. I know there's a lot of victims out there who don't believe in justice. And although I didn't get justice through police, I do think that karma always has a way of making its rounds, and everyone will get what they deserve in the end. I'm grateful for all of you guys for just caring about my story and wanting to hear it, and I hope that this video kind of makes it more clear on what happened. And if you want to hear more about my recovery experience and how I've just been coping with everything, I post videos about that.
Let me know what you think happened to her. What you think? Do you think the co-worker did anything to her? Do you think that she actually fell and broke her jaw? What do you think? What is your own conspiracy on what you think happened to her? So please go down in the comment section and share your thought. But please, as always, keep it respectful. You're on this channel. We're allowed to disagree, but we'll do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thoughts. Okay, we're just here to have conversation. So for me personally, do I think she broke her jaw without... I feel like something went wrong, and I feel like whatever went wrong started off at the bar. And I feel personally that her drink was spiked, because people don't just black out. People just... Or maybe whatever he gave her in the car, because she said they were already drinking from the car. Whatever he gave her in the car, the alcohol, what she drank at the club, everything just matched up and blacked her out. And I feel like he knows, because literally they both drank the same thing. So I feel like she was drugged. Personally, that's my own opinion. Allegedly, I feel like she was drugged. And I also feel like the co-worker knows way more than what he's claiming he knows, or what happened that night. And also, do I think he gripped her? Is most likely, because I don't even see, like, even the thought of seeing somebody bleeding and then you say you clean the person up, tuck them in, and you left. Like, you literally changed their clothes, cleaned their makeup and all that, and left. For me, that's very diabolical. Personally, I feel like most humans will not want to do that. Most humans will want to help, call somebody, call for help, take the person to the hospital, especially the fact that the person fell and the person is bleeding, to see if there's any complication or if there's any concussion or something you want to find out. But the fact that he took her home, she was bleeding, and left her there, there's sauce going on here. But ladies, these are why I share stories like this, is that I feel like it's going to help other ladies just clock it when certain things are happening. I personally, yes, sometimes this is summertime, we want to be outside, we want to have fun, but be careful. Go out with trusted people you trust, people you know that will have your back, people you know that they won't allow anything happen to you. Don't just go out with somebody that is just, oh, we're not that close. Why are you even going out with somebody that you're not just close, especially at night, to the club? Ladies, please, I know we are outside, I know we're having fun, it's summer, but please, always vet the people you go out with. Always vet the people you want to hang out with. If it's somebody you don't know that well, go with somebody that you know very well, especially when it's a man involved, or maybe there's a man involved. No, don't do it to yourself, please. But you guys, be safe out there, because this young lady, I hope that she gets the healing she wants, and I hope she gets the closure she wants. But I feel like she's very self-aware, that she even realized that she's not processing this emotion right and all that. And also, do the rape kits, because a lot of the time, I don't know why, I like, not victim blaming her, but a lot of the time I feel like we want to, like, that can never happen to me. Like she said, like, it will never happen to me. We usually think that the people that certain things happen to, maybe they made a wrong mistake, they made a wrong choice, they were just existing in this life just the way you're existing. So nobody intentionally go out there to allow bad things to happen to them, or that bad things is going to happen to them. So when it comes to the rape kit, you could have just taken it, because she did not even imagine or picture that at the state of where she blacked out, she can't remember anything. Somebody could have taken advantage of her, and which is most likely that was what happened. But anyway, guys, I need you guys to let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section. Go ahead, share your thoughts, but be respectful. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that will be supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.